Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the Redington virtual webinar session. Today's topic we have from Mimecast on cyber resilience platform. We have our pre-sales engineer Ashraf who will be taking you through the session. In case you have any questions during the session, we would request you to please put them in the Q&A box and Ashraf will answer all your questions towards the end of the session. Ashraf, you can proceed.
Thank you so much, Bindya. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ashraf Mujawar. I'm a pre-sales engineer from Redington Gulf. Today, we are going to talk about cyber resilience platform from Mimecast. Being specifically chosen this topic, since everybody is working from home, it is very important. We need to provide enough security to our email platforms as well as our endpoints. So we're going to talk about the complete cyber resilience platforms. And if you have any specific questions, you can always type in the Q&A. And then after the presentation, we can take up those questions. Before I start, I would like to give you a little bit on a glance about Mimecast. We are pretty much in the market from long period of time. It's almost like 17 years, as you can see. We have a good employees count. We have a good technology recognized all over the world, a very good revenue generated organization. There are a lot of customers we are preventing since the start of the first day. We are completely certified by the different organizations. If you talk about ISOs, HIPAA, SOC, we have received all kind of different certifications. We have a different customer base over the world. If you talk about a global customer count, more than 35,000 customers is already using Mimecast solutions. So let's talk about Mimecast Cyber Resilience Platform. Mimecast Cyber Resilience Platform is actually built to deploy a comprehensive cybersecurity and the data management strategy with the help of a single and easy to manage solution. So if you talk about a Mimecast platform, we provide a common platform with the connectivity to all our different solutions. So the common platform is known as a MIME operating system. This is the platform where we are allowing a customer to use the different solutions from Mimecast. So it's a single platform. Of course, with the help of a different solutions, you will be able to achieve almost or you will be able to defend almost a 99% of cyber attacks. So what are those products? So we basically categorize in a different sections. So if you talk about the email, we have a email security, we have a mailbox continuity. If you talk about a web, we have a web security. And one of the most important topic which everybody should be making sure that their employees are aware about what are the attacks are happening and how to ready for those specific attacks is called by giving them a awareness training. And of course, we also need to have the more proactiveness. We need to also have the availability of a certain data, which is basically coming over from emails, right? So we also provide you the archiving and the data protection. So there are 4 platforms we provide you. One is email security, web security, awareness training, and data archiving. Let's talk about the first and the most important and most popular from the security perspective is securing your emails. So we basically secure your email or your mailboxes from, or basically we provide you the 3 aspects. First of all is providing a security. Second thing is availability using the continuity, and of course the archiving part, which basically help us to make sure that whenever we require a certain kind of information, we should be able to retrieve those information on a specific time, right? So if you talk about a security, yes, we act as an email gateways. So all the emails are going to pass from the email security from Mimecast. And of course, we use multiple technologies, all the latest technologies to detect any kind of threats can be passing from those emails. So we use the antivirus, anti-spam, anti-malware, anti-phishing. We also provide the DLP protections, email encryptions, and we also give you the complete visibility by monitoring and providing with the reporting of those emails. From the archiving perspective, we provide the industry's fast searching capability. Okay, we provide you the complete archiving of your emails. Okay, so you can have the email and certain kind of file storage available. Along with that, we try to maintain the compliances as well. You can do the discoveries, faster the discoveries using the email archiving part of it. And of course, the availability of the emails are very, very important for the organization, since a lot of businesses depend upon the applications. So the continuity is something we also provide from the cyber resilience for the email perspective. We will talk about it each and every part in the further slides. So let's talk about specifically on the email security suite. So if you talk about the email security, yes, we do provide, we do divide those specific section into the 3 different categories. One is secure gateway, of course, which will help you to prevent against all kind of zero-day attacks by performing the reputation analysis, and of course the typical antivirus and anti-spam scans. We also provide you the information governance and the control by providing the capabilities of the DLP, data loss prevention, data leakage prevention, attachment protection. We also provide the attachment management protections. We also provide you from the secure messaging and the encryption as well to the the email sender and the receiver encryption. One of the most important part we're going to talk about is the targeted threat protection, because this is something which is very important, because looking at the typical email gateway solutions, there are good chances that there are all the latest threats are bypassing the gateways. So we need to adopt the latest technologies in order to block those kind of latest attacks as well. So we are going to concentrate mainly specifically on the targeted threat protection. So we have 3 subcategories in this, or 3 modules, or 3 features in this, which we provide. We provide as an URL protection, we provide attachment protection, and we also provide the welling or the impersonation basic attack, which we will talk about in the further slides. Let's try to understand, how the typical or existing anti-spam solutions are protecting. So of course, that is what we talked about it, right? They use the typical anti-spam and antivirus signature basis of attacks, which is ineffective with today's world, where all kind of the concentration is specifically going on the phishing kind of spear phishing kind of attacks. So we need to have a solution which would be helping you to use all kind of latest technologies, targeted based attacks, in order to prevent the attack which is happening on the emails. So the Mimecast help you with those specific kind of targeted threat protections. So let's talk about specific to the URL protect. Okay, so URL protect is basically helps you to provide a complete. It basically checks the URL protection. So it gives you the real-time on-click website scanning protect against malicious sites. So whenever you receive an email, if a link is having any kind of link is redirecting to a specific malicious site, of course it is going to scan on a gateway before it reaches to your email boxes, and if it is claimed to be a malicious, it is going to discard that specific email, or we will completely remove that specific link from it. Right. So URL protection, as you can understand, we once the email received, it is always going to scan, and if any kind of URL rewriting happening, then of course it will be blocked on the Mimecast gateways by using the real-time scanning. And even we also provide employees, to check their knowledge by understanding the awareness. So if they try, we will simply send an email back to the user user will receive an email with a link, and once he click on the link, we will always pop up a message asking him that do you trust that specific site, and he will say proceed. Once he said proceed, it will be checked against the databases of the bad URLs, and whether it's a good site or bad site, and based on which, if the site is good, which is trusted, it will be allowed for the users to access that site. If a URL is something or specific site is not trusted, it will be completely blocked by the Mimecast, and this data will be collected, and it will be shared to the Mimecast administrators to understand what is the current users currently doing. So in case of any phishing attack happen, if somebody is trying to send some link, what the employees are going to do with that. So you can also increase the awareness, the dynamic user awareness, which will help your employees to train it better, and you can always increase their knowledge by guiding them what to do when they receive a certain kind of URLs over an email. So this is a specific example. They are talking about it. So whenever the email has been received, every email with an which has a certain kind of redirection part of it, it will be go from the Mimecast. So you can see there is an email from Emirates NBD, one of the popular bank in UAE. So it has a certain kind of information which is talking about there is a recent request to update your email address, which is something called hotmail.com, and the request, and there's a clickable link called cancel request. When you just took the cursor on the cancel request, the URL which is not coming from the Emirates NBD, it is actually taking from a Mimecast. That means that each and every URL and the headers, the URLs are coming from the headers, and even inside the headers, it will be checked, and it has to go from a Mimecast so that you're completely protected. And of course, this kind of URL information you will see from the single management console of a Mimecast. So your administrator can log in and understand what are the URLs scanned per day, what is the topmost URLs from a dashboard. And of course, you get to see the complete awareness, dynamic user awareness from the single dashboard itself. So one of the most important part also we need to do it is from the email. Normally, what we receive is the attachment. So we also secure your attachment. So we provide a multi-layer protection. We also provide a static file analysis. We also provide a safe format conversion, and of course, we also have our own sandboxing in order to do the scanning of the attachments. So whenever the email has been received, okay, it will be scanned against the Mimecast, different packet. It go from a different kind of mechanisms, and then basically the email will be before it send it to the email users. It will be entirely scanned, and then only it will be allowed to send it to the user. Okay. You also have an option of converting the entire email into the safe PDF format, and then you can send it to a user, so that if certain kind of malware or something is there, it will be contained within it. So this is how exactly it is going to see. So whenever somebody send an attachment with an email to you, so you will receive an email like this, and of course it will instead of receiving the entire email, the email will be received in the form of a PDF, and then the user can always request for the original email, original files, and if the file is claimed to be suspicious, of course it will be scanned against all the sandboxing and all the environments, and if it is clean, then only the file will be sent it to the user. Otherwise, user will never receive the file. So if the file is unsafe, once anybody here requests a file, it will be unsafe file. So this way we are making sure that whatever the files has been requesting by the user, if it is infected, don't ever send the file to the user. And of course, you will get a complete sandbox reporting as well about that specific file. One of the important topic, which we are going to talk about is the impersonation base of attack. This is something, it's a very interesting attack, which making all the email gateway solutions, completely unusable. They are not able to protect against those kind of attacks. So impersonation attack is very, very important, that we need to identify the different kind of indicators before you block that specific attack. First of all, from the Mimecast perspective, we see the different kind of indicators before passing out the email to the users. So we understand the display names. Okay, what is how the display name looks like? Like we try to identify the URLs. How the URL look like, how does it been displayed over to it. We have some examples in coming slides, so you will understand more in better about the display emails, display names. We will also understand the similar domains, certain kind of similar domains with the different characters added into it. We also identify the domain activities, whether it is newly created domain. If there is a specific domain is there, what attackers normally do, they create a similar domains which 1 week back or 2 weeks back, and then they try to send an email. So we also identify when this domain has been created. Is it a new domain? Is it an old domain? Based on which we will always alert it, and we will always quarantine the certain emails. We also try to find the certain keywords. We also try to find a reply to mismatch. And of course, the supply chain is completely been followed. Okay. So what is the impersonation protect does? It's protect against the impersonation, like a CEO frauds or the business email compromise which has happened. We understand the different indicators, what we discussed, when to prevent any kind of email spoofing. So this attack is also known as kind of a email spoofing kind of attack, right? It also scans the popular internet domain brands. Of course, you're receiving the email from a popular names. Of course, it's gonna identify those behavior of that, and then basically it is going to allow or block, or it's going to take certain actions against it. So let's understand a specific example. So you can see there is an email coming from the mimecast.com, and it is asking you to do certain kind of wire transfer about some amount, and it's saying it has to be completed today. So it's something looks like a very, very legitimate, as well as something which is very urgent, right? And when you go and actually analyze it, the email specifically, inside it, you can understand the email of the person who's sending is Peter Campbell. It is something which is coming from a very top hierarchy. So, but when you try to analyze this entire email, you can see there is something fishy. If I go back, it looks like Mimecast. When I see from my eyes, it is literally looking like a mimecast.com. But when I go and deeply look into it, the spelling is different. They have written, instead of M, they have written the R and N. So it looks like an M. So this is something which is completely, difficult to identify by the human eyes, and it's difficult to identify, right? So once you receive it, you will understand this is from a Mimecast, and you basically, you proceed with the things, and it's coming from a legitimate domain. It's not a fake domain or something, and it's coming from legitimate, so the user will proceed it. We can also identify certain more parameters like who is, we can do the who is record check, and we can identify when this has been created, so you can identify what exactly has happened. Even if you look at this email, it also looks like a very, very legitimate email. It's coming from a GITEX. Everybody knows there is a huge event happen in UAE called GITEX, Technology Week, and of course there are a lot of emails we must be receiving from those specific organizers from a GITEX, that you need to do certain, of course, it's going to be a marketing team mainly is going to receive it, you need to do certain transfer for GITEX stand and all. Basically, when you see the email, it's exactly look like it's completely legitimate. But when you actually go in depth and you try to see it, it's not actually, it's a different characters which been used in order to register a domain. So it's also again very difficult to humanize, basically, to identify it. Of course, so this is kind of attacks. It's becomes very important. So we do follow certain kind of indicators to identify the display names. We identify the certain parts, like when the domain is registered. Is it a bad reputation? Multiple characters being checked, then only those kind of email will be processed further. One of the important also things which we should be talking about is, right now, we whatever the targeted attacks we talked about, it's mainly because your email is hosted over the internet. You must be receiving an email from the outside attackers, the outside intruders, right? So this kind of attack which we talked about is mainly can be happen from outside. But we all need to agree that there is a bigger risk. There is also a good risk is available from the insiders as well, right? So what happened from the insider is, when you both have the similar emails, they both belongs to the same domain, and they are from the same mailboxes. Whenever you send email, it basically goes directly to your mailbox. It doesn't go to the gateways. So your gateway is completely unaware about what are the attacks which is happening internally. So with the help of an internal email protect from Mimecast, we can also help you to prevent your internal employees as well, if any kind of attack which is happening internally, right? So we do this with the help of a journaling mechanism. So we journal. We basically use a different mailboxes where all this email will be stored and basically inspected before it basically send it to the internal employees. So it's basically inspect internally generated emails for the malicious attachments, URL, and the leaks of a sensitive information or content, right? And of course, we also provide a remediation as well immediately as soon as we see that this is basically the email which contained the information which is a sensitive, or the information or attachment which is a malicious or suspicious, or maybe the URL which is suspicious. It will be analyzed, because we are having a copy of those emails into the different mailboxes, and we are basically monitoring that specific mailboxes, right? As soon as we identify, we will just remove the emails and also the copy which has been sent to that specific user. So if we talk about a specific flow, this is a specific flow we follow from each and every perspective. If you talk about the email inspection, when the email goes, it goes from a different of layers of a security, starting from what has been permitted, what has been allowed over email. We do DKIM, DMARC authentication checks, DNS authentication checks. We also checks the reputation. Also, we follow the gray listing part of it. We also provide a spam scanning the email for the spams. Of course, we also check certain kind of content checks, over email, and the most important one will be a impersonation protect. So whenever your email goes hit to your email gateway, it has to go from all these parameters, all these techniques. Then only your email will be declared as a safe, and then it will be sent it to the receiver. On the URL inspection side, we also do the certain checks before we send the email which contain the URL inside it. So we do check the URL discovery, analysis, and rewriting rules. We also check pre-clicking and the post-clicking. So there is a pre-click check also happen, and whenever a user click on the link, of course, we talked about it. We also present information to user that do you trust that specific site. When you say yes, it checks against Mimecast, and then Mimecast will decide whether this is a suspicious link or this is non-suspicious link. If it is a suspicious link, it will be blocked. It will be, if it is if it is a non-suspicious link, it will be presented with a message that, well done, you have clicked the right information, and of course he will be able to access that specific URLs. And of course, we also check certain parameters like certain kind of permitted or block list. We also check certain kind of IP reputations. We also check the specific kind of dangerous file types which is getting downloaded over those specific links. And of course, we do a deep dive analysis of the specific URLs or the page which contained or trying to receive on that specific email address. And of course, from the email attachment perspective, we also check the macros, something which is very important. We also check is there a dangerous file type extension like .exe or .bat files which is getting sent over email should be identified as a dangerous, and basically based on which basically will not allow that. We have a certain kind of AV checks we will perform. We also perform the commercial AV checks. We also perform the static file analysis, and last but not the least, we also do the sandboxing of the attachment. Because of with all these layers of security, we are able to safe and securely transfer the attachments, which is basically good for the employees. We also provide the user awareness training. So if you see, the user awareness training is certain a different module which we help the users to train them more about the current trends and how they can tackle the situation whenever they receive a certain kind of spam email or something. What to do? There are very nice videos has been created by Mimecast. A user can go through and take those videos. It's kind of like a they kind of created like a movie, like a Netflix series or something. They created a very good video. There are a lot of good characters they have used in the video, so it becomes easier to explain to the employees or users, and it becomes much more attractive. When you have a certain characters who's acting and they're choosing a topic and then explaining it. So this kind of awareness training can also be provided to the users. Customers can purchase it, this kind of modules, and then they can basically help their employees to train well to tackle any kind of situation which they face from the email perspective. So of course, this kind of information they will be get. We will also do the certain kind of information awareness where we will try to send a certain fake email from certain fake emails to the users. We will understand what user do with that. We identify what is the user's mindset to handle that specific email, and accordingly we will have a certain modules of awareness training we can assign to him. Then he will have to go through with all those training modules. Once he go through with that, he will do certain test, and then of course he's good with that specific thing. We also have a email continuity as a module which we provide. The email continuity has the main aim that because if you see, your Mimecast is acting as a gateway. All the emails first received to your Mimecast, and then Mimecast send those email to your email providers, your Exchange, Office 365, Google Apps. It's on premise or it is in the cloud. Everything we do support multiple vendors, right? Multiple platforms. So what is email continuity is going to help you is the main aim is to provide the main aim is to maintain the availability, even in case of if your Exchange or any kind of service goes down. We have to make sure that there shouldn't be any impact on the emails, right? So what happened, whenever let's say a situation happened where your Exchange server goes down, Office 365, whatever happened, in future, what is the most important part for you, right? You want to keep receiving the emails, right? So that is the reason Mimecast provides you the continuity part of it. In case your Exchange server or any server goes down, your Mimecast will be started acting as your email server, and he will start sending the email to the specific users. So what is going to happen is whenever those servers goes down, our mail servers goes down, your Mimecast started acting as a mail server. Once you because Mimecast is a gateway, all the emails coming from outside is going to hit the Mimecast first, and then your Mimecast will check those emails, and basically it will do all kind of security scan, and only once the email is secure, it will be transferred to the user. So this is how we maintain the continuity and the availability part of it. We also perform the email archiving. That is what we discussed about it. One of the good part is we provide the 7 seconds search SLA to users. So if you have an email, which you may be searching an email from 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, you can search any of the emails using that within the 7 seconds. So we are also a leader in that. So it's a promising technology, and of course we use certain kind of mechanisms, in order to prevent or give you the complete archiving feature of it. We do have a lot of API and appliance partnership, okay, with the different vendors. So we can integrate with the different kind of vendors. As you can see, some of the good names: Logarithms, CrowdStrike, Demisto, Anomaly, Splunk, Symantec. There are Salesforce. We can actually integrate with all the different kind of technologies with the API call, and basically we will be able to give you the better control and better security to your organization as well. Yeah, so we do integrate with Splunk very well. In fact, we can get you the better results if you have a Splunk already ready-made solution. Easily you can integrate and you have a better dashboard of a Mimecast available, which can be given to your SOC teams to completely analyze what is exactly happening from the email perspective of your thing. So deploying wise, it's very easy. If you talk about it, it's a very simple solution. You just need to make sure that you follow certain steps before you started preventing your emails. So it's just the MX record has to be pointed towards the Mimecast, and of course your outbound connectors for mail gateways has to be communicating to the Mimecast. So once these steps are completed, your email security, your emails are completely secure against any kind of attack. So it's a very quick deployment which you can do it. And because of a single management perspective, the policy configuration becomes very much easy. If you talk about the licensing part of it, we do have a certain licensing modules available, or licensing bundles are available. So one of the common or the basic model which we talks about is a security. Okay, so whatever we talks about it, the targeted attacks, the anti-spam, the anti-phishing, all things basically covers DLP, and everything will be covered in the security part of it. So if a customer needs the specific bundle, they can go for S1, which basically provides the security part of it. We also have a S2, which basically gives you the capability of S1. Okay, so security, when I say security, it's a S1. So S1 plus, you will also get the internal email protect. Okay, so if a customer is looking for securing not only the email coming from outside to inside, but also the email which goes internally, from your email boxes, they can go and purchase the S2 as a module. And of course, there are different modules they can go for it. Let's say customer come back and say, I need a continuity as well, I need only archiving as well. So there are specific modules are available. So they can go with like a security plus continuity. So S1 plus C1, okay. Plus if they want to go with archiving, then S1 plus C1 plus A1, this kind of module which we can do. Otherwise, we also have some bundles which we basically sell it. So we have a module called M2A, okay, which basically has a bundle of S1. So you get the security, you get continuity, and you also get archiving up to 1 year. So this archiving and continuity and security, you can, if a customer asks about it, you can always go and present the M2A as a licensing bundle to them. We also provide the M3R as a bundle, which basically includes whatever is there in M2A, which is on top. Plus, we also provide the internal email protect. So M3R includes your security S1, continuity and archiving for 1 year. Plus, it also provides the internal email protect to you. And if you're looking for if you're looking for an entire thing, you can always go and purchase the M2RA. So there's a specific code words, specific codes they are using it, which basically includes now your M3R, which includes security, continuity, and archiving. But the only good part is it also includes your internal email protect, as well as it also provides the unlimited archiving part of it. Okay. We also have a certain more, as we talk about it, we also have a web security. We could not cover the web security here. We can have a different session specifically on talking about web security. And since the Mimecast is also providing like a 3 months free of a web security, looking at this current COVID-19 situation, we can have a topic specifically discussing the web security as well. We also provide user awareness, which of course we talked about it. So this user awareness is completely dependent upon the mailboxes, how many mailboxes, user mailboxes which you have, based on which you can purchase the licenses from it. And of course, the web security, if you talk about specifically, it depends on how many users you have or how many users are there in organization, which needs to be protected by the Mimecast web security. That's it from me, from Mimecast. Thank you so much for your time today. If you have any specific questions, you can write back to us. If there are any questions, I would like to take up now itself.
These are the only questions for today, Ashraf. Thank you again for hosting the session for us. And also, I would like to thank all the attendees for making time and attending the session. We hope we have given you all the information. And then in case you have any questions, you can always write back to us and we will make sure we respond to all of your emails. Thanks again, and I hope all of you have a great day ahead.